Hey gang, Will here from the Ashland Fly Shop. We're doing a fishing report for the first week of October. Great time of year. We love ways you can absolutely tell we're getting into the fall season here. Leaves are changing, air is cool and crisp, and I'm back in my sweater vest. And those are sure signs that we're into the fall season. So let's hop right in with the fishing report. We're going to talk about the Rogue right first off here. So we'll spend a fair amount of time on the Rogue because it's our home water, it's in our backyard, and it's our favorite time of year to fish here. You know, it's just absolutely beautiful in the valley right now. Clear, crisp skies, great temperatures, and fish in the river. So we have fish in the river, and September was a great month. It was actually one of the better Septembers that I remember. So a couple phenomena that happened in September. The river drops. ODFW drops the flows pretty drastically to trigger the salmon into spawning, and that has happened. That's occurred. Typically we get to the lowest point about the third week of September. So the river is really at its lowest point now. I think it's around 1,000 coming out of the dam. There are Chinook in the river. They are paired up on the reds. Be careful, don't walk over their reds. But you will see them out there. Fishing behind them can be productive. I don't necessarily mean directly behind them, but in the first fishable run below them, I always feel that is the best spot for success if you're drifting eggs and stuff like that. But it is go time. It is fly fishing only on the upper river, flies only. So that's a great time to be out there. Great time to be out there fishing on the upper Rogue. Right now, immediately, we have a high pressure system sitting over the Rogue Valley, and it's been here for a little while. It looks like it's going to be here for a little while. Typically what happens is the fishing gets a little stale then. It's a term that we've sort of come up with for it. It just tends to kind of get a little bit beat down. We get a little more pressure on the river. We don't have a lot of freshets, you know, kind of bringing the river up and kind of juicing it up a bit, so it just gets a little flat. So we see a lot of the same fish that are kind of stuck in the same runs and pools and holding areas, and they get run over a bit. They get caught here and there, so they tend to get a little put down. I think we will definitely see this over the next week and a half, and fishing will kind of be on a little bit of a downward trend until we get a little bit of a change and we have fish coming in. That said, there are fish in the river. They are there. People are catching them daily. We're swinging them up. We're nymphing them up. And it's a great time to fish. And that's just an observation that I've seen year to year to year to year to year. At this time of year, we get this, it's a wonderful time to be out there. It's shirt sleeve weather in the afternoon, but that's not really what the fish absolutely prefer. So we are fishing all methods. We are fishing floating lines for steelhead, more traditional stuff. That's really nice right now for an afternoon, later in the afternoon, or even in the early morning before people have gone over the fish. Still a good option. Sink tips, also a very viable option with a little bit larger flies. Really a good way to pursue fish right now to get down in those buckets a little bit better. Nymphing is really going to be a very productive way to fish right now. Being able to get your flies right down in front of the fish that are kind of stuck down, glued in that bedrock. It's going to be a very productive way to fish. I think nymph fishing tends to really outpace swinging this time of year when we have this kind of high pressure setup. So that's kind of what we're seeing out there, and man, it's a great time to be out there, and I encourage you to get out there and do some fishing. Pretty much go time in all areas, everywhere that we fish in the region now. We'll talk a little bit about the Klamath. I was just down there for several days this last week, and it's definitely looking brighter than last year. Last year was a real low point for the Klamath. The accumulation of the drought, low water conditions, poor water conditions there in the Klamath with the low warm water. Definitely some higher temps this summer as well, but fish in the system. We've ran into half pounders. We ran into pods of half pounders in the Happy Camp area. We did run into a few adult fish. So promising, looking better. I think by the time we get to mid-October in that area, in the Happy Camp area, we'll be seeing some signs of what this run is actually going to shape up to be like in the river. Great signs of salmon around, salmon flopping around. Not a lot of them, but there were some salmon around. Not on the reds yet, of course, but there are fish around. The fish in the Klamath are just glued to the salmon. They are all over them in ways that I don't see them in other systems. So as go the salmon, I think as go the steelhead a bit there. So we'll keep you tuned, and as the fish keep migrating upriver into the closest area to us, which is the Hornbrook area up around I-5, we'll keep you updated. Typically we don't start looking around down there until really into November, even mid-November. But we will go downstream a little further looking for them. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Of course, you can always call us and let us know. Same type of stuff there, nymph fishing, hothead stones, egg patterns, swinging traditional flies, hothead leech patterns. That stuff all works really, really good down there. Very similar to the Rogue, usually just kind of size everything down just about a half or one size. So we'll keep you posted on that. We love fishing the Klamath, and we'll keep you updated. The North Umpqua River, real true summer steelhead fishery. It is a nice place to fish this time of year. It's absolutely beautiful up there, as it is all the time. I usually think of it more as a real midsummer, summer fishery. There will definitely be fish coming in. I just don't think we see the schools or the pods as we do a little bit earlier in the year. You're kind of on your own up there as usual. If you watch these reports, you kind of know by the time I'm telling you a report, I'm typically 5 days off. So, if you're going to the north, you're going anyway. It's a beautiful place to be in the fall. I wish you the best of luck. Northern California trout, I'm just going to kind of give a brief overview. I have not got a lot of reports, and nor have I been down there much in the last few weeks, just really focusing on steelhead, but it's really go time. As I've been saying throughout the summer, I really think the McCloud is going to be the best bet. It's nicknamed the McCrowd. It really comes from this time of year. It can get pretty busy, especially as those fall browns start to move in and stuff. So keep that in mind if you're going up there, spreading out between Ash Camp and the Audina area. But a very good place to fish. It does get a good October caddis hatch. Those fish can respond to those bugs. But just in general, fishing in the fall tends to kind of pick up a bit down there. I think we're right on that transition now where that's going to start to change. And, mid-November is when it closes. So there's a good solid month and a few days left to be down there. The Upper Sacramento, I just have not had a lot of great reports from there. I'm not quite sure what to say about it at this point. It's worth exploring a little bit in the fall. They do have a great October caddis hatch. I would probably concentrate my efforts further up in the Cantera Loop section around Mount Shasta. I think those wild fish are a little bit more active, active to floating flies, natural bugs, things like that. And I think that population is a little bit more intact than what's maybe going on downriver. I really am not so sure. So just kind of a watch and wait thing there. One of my favorite places in the world, but we're kind of just watching and waiting to see how it recovers from a lot of high water, a lot of low water drought conditions into a lot of really extreme high water this year. So kind of been a funny year for the Upper Sac. So, but all that whole area, Pitt River, Hat Creek, it's just go time, Fall River. I would go any of those places tomorrow morning and enjoy fishing. So yeah, good stuff there. So that's what we got for you from the state of Jefferson. Just our favorite time of year out here. We absolutely love this time of year, and it's a great time to be out and fishing. So I really encourage you to get the rods out and get going. As usual, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to call us at the shop. We'll do our best to give you an up-to-the-minute report on what we hear is going on and the reports that we're making ourselves. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later.